Hi, this is Les Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. When we talk about the Cleveland Browns, we brag about one of the most iconic franchises in all of sports. But imagine this. The Browns are an iconic franchise that hasn't won a division title since 1989. If my math is correct, that's 30 years. And in that time, they have finished second just twice, in 2002 and 2007. At the same time, the Cleveland Indians have gone to the World Series 3 times, and they've gone to the playoffs a couple of other times while getting ready to defend their division crown for the 3rd time in a row. The 2019 season begins tomorrow in Minnesota, and what do we talk about nonstop on this show and others? The Cleveland Browns. And what are the Indians going to do about Francisco Lindor 3 years from now? It's an amazing turn of events. Andy Baskin is here. More sports and Les Levine starts right now. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les Levine, it's a Wednesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les Levine in our 23rd consecutive year, and as always, seen exclusively on cleveland.com, seen exclusively or heard exclusively on 92.3 The Fan from 10 to 2, the Baskin part of the Baskin and Phelps.
That's me. I'm here again today.
Was that done alphabetically? Was it done chronologically? What was it?
It was Phelps's idea. Phelps said Phelps and Baskin doesn't sound good.
But Baskin and Phelps does?
We were Cleveland's talking heads for about a week.
Right.
And, we're sitting here. At the time, it was Bull and Fox.
Right.
And a couple guys in the morning.
And that's not what they were called.
And Jeff and I were saying, we're the only two that have actually been in the market for more than
a
5 minutes.
Half, yeah.
Why wouldn't we use our own names? And then finally, Andy Roth, the Pooh Boss, said, oh, well, that makes sense. Why don't we call it Baskin and Phelps?
Duh.
Yeah.
All right, so I didn't hear much of your show today. What's the big topic today?
Bagels. Bagels were the big topic today, whether you should slice bagels and put them in the toaster if they are fresh.
So you have Baskin and Phelps and bagels and lox.
And bagels and lox. There was a story out of St. Louis today where you can St. Louis style a bagel. Okay?
Yeah.
And that means you take it, the bread machines they have?
Yeah.
Where it slices it? You take a loaf and they put bagels in that machine in St. Louis. That's St. Louis
that's
style.
Blasphemy.
I said the same thing. Much as the same about bagels, that if you take a bagel that is at a bagel store,
yes,
we know plenty of good ones on the east side. I know one excellent one on the west side.
Right.
That if it's fresh, that you should just eat it when it's hot and fresh. Do not toast it.
Okay.
The next day you can toast it. That's fine.
Do you suppose that at the owners' meetings in Arizona, they had enough of that kind of food to go around, or not?
I believe they did. Although, did you hear what happened at the breakfast with the coaches?
Yeah, I heard they ran out quickly.
They ran out quickly. That was on Deadspin today. That was like the best part.
All right, so tell me what they did yesterday. They decided to make a change with the instant replay. Do you think it's going to matter? Do you think it's a big deal, or could they have done better?
No, I think they did it right, especially if they're only going to do it for 1 year and see how it works.
Right.
If they get the play right every time, I'm all for it.
Well, basically, if I understand it correctly, they're saying that if it's in the last 2 minutes,
right,
if it's an egregious call or a miscall,
yeah,
that they buzz down from the top?
That's right.
Why can't they buzz down? Why do they need the guy going under the hood to make a decision?
They don't.
People, they talk about it taking extra time if you check every play. It doesn't take extra time if you don't send the guy under the hood.
Well, the question is, does he go under the hood and then so he can help along with the official?
No, let the guy upstairs just make the call.
Totally agree. Make him the head official. Let him go.
Right.
I don't disagree with that at all. I think that's a great idea.
It'll take him 4 years to figure that out.
Well, we work slow. It's like the government. Work slow.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Andy Baskin, 92.3 The Fan, is with us. All right, what else came up? Locally, they're unveiling the new uniforms for next year. They aren't unveiling them yet, but before we do that, we'll do it in order. Roger Goodell says he's open to the idea of letting Kareem Hunt work out and hang around with the team. If so, that would be the first time they've ever done that. Is that correct?
under this kind of suspension. Josh Gordon got to hang around with the team, but it was a different kind of suspension.
All right. Browns will unveil new uniforms in 2020. D. Haslam says they finally got it right. What do you think they're going to do?
Go back to the normal style.
Yeah, the 1964 ones.
Yeah, maybe with slimmer numbers and one
they can
stripe
do
on
that.
the pants.
First Energy Stadium will remain in the current location. They're not going to build a stadium inside the stadium with an open roof or anything like that.
It's got to be cheaper than putting it on a flatbed and trying to move it somewhere else.
Well, yeah, but wouldn't you think that there'd be some discussion about this? They say they've met with city leaders, but nothing's gotten out about that. So one would think that it takes more than a, hey, what do you think about this? You should have serious discussion about it.
I think the discussions come back to what do you want to do with the lakefront? And if you are planning on building some kind of a lakefront area, a neighborhood or shopping or any of those things, knowing that resource right there is unbelievable, including the airport.
All right, so what are we talking? Well, I think the airport is underused. The Burke Airport should really be used more.
It is important for our national defense.
Well,
that's what I've been told, that it's a military strategic place.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But they can't give up that airspace because of strategic. But they said the same thing in Chicago. And if you go look at Chicago now, it's the only thing standing is the deck where they would land planes coming in.
Right. All right. So
the tower.
Well, they've misused the whole thing. In fact, you talk about Chicago. I've been a big proponent of the reason Chicago's lakeshore works and Cleveland's doesn't is they had their inner belt, what we call the inner belt. They had it a mile or two away from the lake, and Cleveland got it as close as they could. And you know how I feel about the name Dead Man's Curve.
Right.
Just the sign should say Dead Man's Curve, and we really mean it.
Right.
So people will go 35 miles an hour like I do on a normal freeway.
It should just say, instead of speed limit 35, it should just say, hey, call less.
Call less and let them know how fast he can go.
But they're supposed to redo that.
Well,
and that would
let's
create
go.
more land.
You know, I think Clevelanders know that's a dangerous place, but a lot of people coming through from out of town.
No, my kids are like, are we going through Dead Man's Curve? Are we going through Dead? Yes, and then all of a sudden you hear the rumble strips, especially if you're talking to somebody, like someone's from Cleveland.
Yes.
If you are talking to them on their cell phone and you hear,
how things downtown today.
That's right. Oh, you're at Dead Man's Curve.
Right.
But you don't hear any airplanes in the background.
I mean, we've gone through this before. We have Dead Man's Curve, we have Terminal Tower, we have Chagrin Boulevard. Well, no wonder we've been so down for so many years.
Where's Happiness Place? I missed
That's
that.
at the corner of Happy and Healthy.
Oh, okay.
You have a drugstore there. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. You can also email us during the show at reallesslevine@gmail.com. Andy Baskin, 92.3 The Fan. How long has that been on now? 6 years? 7 years?
What, our show?
Yeah.
Today?
The station. How long has the station been
8
going?
years, I think.
Is it 8 years?
Almost 9 years, yeah.
Wow.
I was there day one.
Any fights break out?
Not that I know of.
No.
I don't think so. We've had some pretty good arguments in there, but most of them are on the air and people hear them. I think that's the great part about what we do. Like, if you need a vent, you just do it on the air.
Have you ever had a discussion with Jeff on the air that the next day it held over?
Never. It could go into the break.
Yeah.
We've had a few of those.
What percentage of times when you guys are arguing, are they for real or are they show business?
80.
80 is real?
80, 85%.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be like, okay, keep going. But
right.
It's 80. When we're arguing, it's legit.
It's real arguments.
I don't want to do fake radio. Did you? I mean, sometimes you say, I'll take this side.
Yeah.
But Jeff and I don't normally we're on different sides.
That's usually when I do it solo.
You argue with yourself.
Myself. But here was my.
Do you win those arguments?
When I first started in radio, here's what I want.
People are sick of me coughing, so I'm going to drink some water. But I'll take the
you
sponsor
can show
off.
it. It's okay.
Okay.
LeBron James' way of doing it.
Yes.
I had it when I first started in radio. Here's what I wanted to do. I couldn't do voices, imitations, or anything. I wanted to get a job doing play-by-play and color at the same time.
How was that going to go?
Well, I'd call the play-by-play, and then I would explain in another voice why the linebacker got hung up. And
would you call yourself less along the way?
Well, I hadn't gotten that far.
I would say 80 to 90% of the voices I do were either done by my brother or my friends growing up. I mean, I've got I've got Vespa Guy. Have you ever listened to Vespa?
Yes,
yeah, Vespa Guy. You got change for a nickel? Can you? I got
Change
to
for
put
a
some money
nickel.
in my Vespa. I need some gas money.
So these are friends.
These are all friends. These are all people I grew up with.
We had a guy, John Cohout, who could have been Rich Little back in the day, and he could have made it big. There was no call for doing Mr. Humple though on national TV.
And was he calling people in the dorms, or what was he?
He was. Well, I walked into the locker room and I hear the Mr. Covert, the basketball coach at Greenview Junior High, is yelling at everybody. He's yelling at everybody, and then the crowd thins out, and it's Cohout doing Mr. Covert.
That's funny. We used to do a thing when I went to Kent where there was a big, like, you had food coupons.
Right.
So, like, now I think they have credit cards, and you go through and you swipe through and you get to eat whatever you want to eat. But back in the day, you would get these food coupon books, and they were $2, $1, a quarter, nickel, whatever was in there. Well, and I'm not trying to be sexist, but the girls never ate 6 books worth of food.
Right.
So they would always sell their books off. And they would have all these flyers all around campus, and it would say food coupons for sale. And then it would have their 4-digit number on the bottom. It would say, call Andrea. And it would say 1, 2, 3, 4. And so you'd rip it off and you'd be like, hey, Andrea, you're selling your books. And you'd buy like a $60 book for $20. Well, we had guys on our floor that would call up and they were saying they were Oscar and they lived in the basement of Kuntz Hall. Hello, this is Oscar. Are you selling your food coupons? And then they'd get them going long enough, and you'd think there might actually be something wrong with the person. And to be honest with you, the fact they were making those phone calls, my buddies, they probably was actually wrong.
Yeah. Well, I'm stopped at a traffic light one time, and a guy, I look up, a guy had jumped on the hood of my car and threw his jacket on the window, and he says, I can handle losing, I can't stand giveaways, which was a Mr. Humple, Coach Humple line. Meanwhile, I thought I was going to have a heart attack until I realized it was John Cohout. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. The owners' meetings are over. Freddie Kitchens talked to the media yesterday. He says he'll be himself and he'll treat players with respect. One would assume that. John Harbaugh, coach of the Ravens, spoke very highly of the Cleveland Browns.
But isn't everybody?
Yes, it's a fashionable thing.
This is the Browns' year.
Fashionable thing, no question.
Look out. They're the team to beat.
Speaking of the Indians, we all know when they won the pennant, when they got to the World Series and all, but what you may not know about is some years in between. Well, Scott Longard has written a book of the years in between, 1937 to 41. Bob Feller comes to the Indians. It's called Bad Boys and Bad Times, written by Scott Longard. They had an alcoholic catcher, Raleigh Hemsley, on that team. They were the crybabies, and they had a big team meeting and demanded to get the manager fired, which they did. And it all happened from 1937 to 1941. If you're an Indians baseball fan, you want to check that one out, and visit scottlongard.com for upcoming book signings. He's a terrific guy, terrific writer, and he writes about all things Cleveland. And we'll come back in a moment with Andy Baskin, right here exclusively on cleveland.com.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
But I do think with the players they have now and the coaching staff and stuff, I think it adds a new twist because they're just so darn talented, and they're the most talented team in the division. I mean, there's no question about that right now, and we'll see We'll see what that means. I know this, and that's right now. The best team in the division is the team that's going to win the division. So we'll see what the best team is. We played the Browns many times over the last 11 years, and every one of them has been a really hard-fought game. We've had to block field goals in overtime and take them for touchdowns to win, and they've beaten us. We've been good enough to find a way to win a lot of those games, but the AFC North is unique. We've had dogfights with the Browns and every other team in our division every single year. So it's no different for us, for the Ravens. We're not sitting there going, it's the new Browns. The Browns have always been tough, and the Browns have always been a handful.
All right, two things.
You buying that?
Well, that's my second thing.
Okay.
First thing is, how come he's likable and his brother is not?
It's probably because he doesn't wear as many pairs of khakis. I would think so. And he's not at Michigan.
Maybe.
He's not at Michigan
Maybe
right now.
that's it.
That's probably why.
All right, here's the other thing. That's stuff that you say leading up to a game against a bad team. You pump them up. But by what he did today sort of may lay some groundwork about him in Pittsburgh, because he clearly called out Pittsburgh on that. Or am I wrong?
Oh, I think Pittsburgh's going to do the same thing. I'm sure that he was asked about Cleveland, don't you think? The question was Cleveland specific. Yeah. I don't think he was thinking about Pittsburgh when he answered that question. Clearly, I don't think he was.
Probably not.
But he also said the AFC North was tough. I just think that now everybody is going to say, let's put the bullseye on Cleveland and see how they react. Let's do it. Let's just go. Because Vegas is saying so. All the experts are saying it's 5 games on national TV. Oh, how about New England week 1 on Sunday night? How many big games can we give the Browns?
Do you want that? I don't.
Truthfully, no, but I'll be okay with it. I have no problem with it.
All right, I don't want to see it. You got Freddie Kitchens' first game. You got a lot of. I guess if you're going to play New England, first game is probably the one you want to play, but I don't like it.
Let me tell you the difference between me, you, and Baker Mayfield and John Dorsey and Freddie Kitchens. They want it. I think they want it.
Well,
because they don't want to be scared of being in this place where we're afraid to play a game.
They also don't want to be 1-3.
Embrace it. I understand that too, but I also think they want to get out there, they want to set the tone and let everybody know that this is going to be a team that can win football games.
It's going to be fun. I do know you know that. All right, the NFL rule change about pass interference becoming reviewable.
Right.
Something had to be done. Is that we talked about it earlier, but do you think that's it? That's the answer?
Well, we'll see if they screw this thing up, which is probably going to happen.
Part of the answer
in the beginning of the year, it's going to be a mess.
Right, but part of the answer would be to change it back to 10 yards where you can have contact.
I agree with that. But are they going to add contact to the game when they're being sued for concussions or they're being sued over lifelong injuries? Do you want to add contact? I don't think so.
No, but it's not adding contact. It's only adding the distance from the line of scrimmage that will be added. You're not going to hit a guy. If you hit a guy at the 5, you're not going to hit him also at the 10, as opposed to just hitting him at the 5.
I would like to see the DBs be able to get in a guy's way, to get in the wide receiver's way a little bit farther. Once the ball's in the air, I think they need to drop their hands.
What happens almost all the time is the ball's in the air, they've been beat, so they just go head down, they don't even look where the ball is, and contact is there because every defensive back would much rather have a 35-yard penalty than a touchdown.
Absolutely.
But it's horrible for spectators. It's horrible.
Well, I was listening to Dustin Fox talk about it this afternoon, and it's just it's that fast for the DB to make a decision.
That's true.
I mean, we watch it in TV in slow motion, and it looks like it takes forever. For those guys, it's gone in a moment.
Yeah, that's true. But I'll go back to what I said earlier, that just have an extra official there and let him be accountable for it, and don't make the regular ref go under the hood. I can't see any reason. In the beginning, when they started it, I understood that the headlinesman had to make the call, so he goes under the hood. Now he goes under the hood, comes back. They now run 2-minute commercials while the guy's under the hood. So maybe if you had a guy upstairs whose call was going to be the one they were going to use, that doesn't take 2 minutes even, and they can get the game going again.
I think the interesting rule change was the one that they didn't do, the 4th down onside kick. Or the extra down, sorry.
15 yards?
Yeah. What'd you think of that?
Well, for those who don't know, they were going to, what I didn't understand is could you keep doing it? Or could you only do it once?
If there was a penalty, could you keep doing it?
No. If you scored, you get to do it again. If
you only got to do it once. That was the rule was set up. The Broncos set this rule up where, instead of an onside kick, you would get a 4th and 15 from your own 35.
Right.
And you had 1 down to complete the 4th and 15. If you did it, you got to keep the ball. If not, the other team gets the ball wherever it lands. either at the 35 or short of 15 yards.
Yeah, but if it works and you score, can you do it again?
No, you can only do it once.
You can only do it once. I sort of like that as a beginning idea, and let's work with it. There's too many things that could go wrong in it, the way I see it.
What I wonder is, what if there's a penalty? If there's an offensive penalty, does that eliminate it?
Right.
Does it,
I don't know.
Or is it the same rules as an onside kick?
What would you do as a defensive coach or the head coach making the final call? Would you have everybody 14 yards off the line of scrimmage and just let them throw a pass underneath and then go get them?
It's a great call. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'd have to see how it plays out.
I don't know what they're going to do either. But we did ask people about what they feel about changes in the game. What rule change would you like to see in any sport? Got some interesting answers. One of them, they stole it from me, but I'll let you figure out which one that is. We start with Kevin Piles. Allow the NFL DBs to do the bump and run within 10 yards to cut down on the excessive number of pass interference and holding calls. Dennis Davis says put the DH in both leagues in baseball.
Amen, brother.
Andy Mees says salary cap in baseball, it would level the playing field for the small and mid-market teams. They have a fair chance at keeping homegrown talent. Scott Matthews says salary cap and DH in both leagues. Frank Oswald, MLB, no divisions. Just take the top teams, let them make the playoffs, and all teams would play the same rules equally. Then you have Pete Shane, who says, I'd like to see MLB go to a balanced schedule. Even though it helps the Tribe's record with all those games in the Central, I just think it would be better for the fans to get those teams to come into the Jake more than once a season. And this is the one that was stolen from me. I actually, Pat McCabe and I came up with this for hockey. He's coming up with it soccer. He says, I'll say up front, I don't watch soccer, but if you put two balls out and one counts as 1 point and the other is 2, just toss them out and see what happens. Also, no shootouts. Makes no sense. 2 balls would speed up the action. I always thought 2 pucks in hockey would be terrific. You have to decide if you want to defend it or not.
Less of all the dumb things you've ever said, that's the biggest one.
216-575-0403, Northfield Park.
2 pucks. Come on, man. Can't do that.
2 pucks, Shakur.
How about basketball change on the fly? What do you think of that?
It's a 10-on-6 break?
No, I'm just saying, if you want to, you can change. You got your little area in between. If the
Well,
ball hits a guy coming in, it's too many guys on the floor.
Okay, so how do they legislate it in hockey if a guy jumps out of off the bench too early, but it's okay?
There's an area. There's like a 5-foot area.
Oh, so
where
you
just
can
have to
cross?
switch. You can't play the puck though.
Right.
If you play the puck.
If you're pretending you're actually going to the bench.
If you play the puck, then it's too many men on the ice. Now, the one that's really interesting is the way they've changed the goalie rule, where if you pull a goalie off the ice, the goalie has to be completely on the bench, or at least have one skate in the bench area
before the 6th guy comes out.
Before the extra attacker can come out. There you go. Now you're smarter today.
I'm thinking. I just wish there was a way to see more NHL games for guys like me who used to be a big fan and no longer. I mean, I can't name 5 guys in the league right now.
Still a great game, even if you can't name 5 guys.
Well, that's why the Stanley Cup is amongst the best things in sports.
I just love the way the guys play. There's no off nights for the Stanley Cup. There's none. There never are.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Andy Baskin with us from 92.3 The Fan. Coming up, Jose Ramirez likely to play on opening day, but Francisco Lindor, how about that, Andy? A little sprained ankle is not good.
No, it's not
Sign
good.
a $100 million contract right now before you get hurt again.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's doing. He's holding out. Maybe that's why. No, he hurt himself at spring training.
Yeah.
Are you going to break here, or what are you doing?
Go ahead.
Well, there's the other story was the Trevor Bauer angry story.
We'll get to that when we come back.
I'll give you the answer on why he was angry.
Well, I don't even know if people know that he was, but you have the answer before they know it.
I have the answer.
You can go to Northfield Park. It is open live racing on Sunday through Wednesday. Then on Saturday, post time is 6 p.m. Open early every day for simulcast action. The Road to the Derby contest goes every Saturday through April 20th. Free admission, free parking every day at Northfield Park. Back in a moment with Andy Baskin exclusively on cleveland.com.
Your basement is damp, dirty, and not somewhere you want to spend time. Let Nature's Stone Flooring transform your basement into a true extension of your home. Nature's Stone's proprietary hydrostatic ports allow water to simply evaporate, so no mold or mildew. Nature's Stone is the affordable basement floor solution that beautifies your home.
Get Nature's Stone installed in your home by the end of March and get up to 50% off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today.
It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature's Stone.
There are tastes we remember.
Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Today, the 27th of March, Miller Huggins, who was a Babe Ruth's manager with the Yankees, Mike Curtis, one of the great all-time football films that people should look at, when a fan ran on the field and Curtis just picked him up and threw him down.
Yep.
When Men Were Men. Nick Dupp was born in 1947. Randall Cunningham, Michael Kadire, Buster Posey, seen on the left, all born on the 27th of March. Time for a How Come Quickie. How come Napoleon didn't actually design his jacket, but he had a hand in it?
Nick Dupp. I think I went to school with him.
Could be.
Nick Dupp?
I got to tell you something. We have a new contributor to Quickies.
Okay.
John, I think his name is John Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
And he sends, let's say he sends 3. One is on the border.
On the border of cleanliness?
Using it or not.
Okay.
Using it or not using it. Then he follows up with 2 good ones like
Let's
that.
hear the one on the border.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. The Indians, I think, got some good news. Jose Ramirez is expecting to play tomorrow.
Yes.
That's good news, bad news, and Frankie Lindor probably another couple of weeks with this. I am a doctor, and I do play it on TV.
Oh, good.
A lot of people will deny it. But
yes.
No, I do. That can't be good. That's the old story. Sean Casey, I don't know if you said it on your show or on Bull and Fox. Have the guy get ready, and he's okay, gets the word that he can go play, and then wait another 2 weeks.
Just to make sure he's totally healthy? I think he rolled his ankle. I mean, I don't...
Yeah.
That's a tough one to make up, isn't it?
No, I'm not saying you made it up. I'm just saying that you want to get a guy in there, and you got to be careful because it's a long, long season.
It is long, but you can lose. The old saying is you can lose it in April, you can't win it.
No, well, I'd like to see somehow. I don't know how you can do it because you're trying to win every game, but Francona's teams don't play well in April. Any idea why?
Cold. Why are we home
cold
for the first 2 weeks, basically? What are they doing? Why are we in cold weather? How
well,
stupid are they when
there's
they
a
make the
reason
schedule?
for it. You want them to play on the road for 2 weeks?
Yeah, you can play. How about 10 days? I don't have a problem with that.
Well, because let's say it's a market similar to Cleveland, but in nice weather, they'll have the same argument that Cleveland has. The kids are still in school. People aren't thinking baseball in April. Same reason.
Okay, well, it still doesn't make sense to start here, Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota on opening day.
Maybe they forgot that they don't have a dome anymore.
That's a possibility. That I believe. Major League Baseball is that dumb with scheduling. I agree with you.
All right, let's take a look at Jose Ramirez and what he's done. Let's look at his career and what's going on here. This is the progression from 2016 through 2018. Pretty impressive, hitting 312, 318, and then 270. But in that 270 year, 105 RBIs and 34 homers. What do you think September was all about last year?
Cheating?
No, just with Ramirez.
You're just saying about being cold in the postseason, or just?
No, I'm just saying, why did he do so bad in September?
This is becoming a little bit of the norm, isn't it?
Yes.
So
and that's a bad time to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's again. I'll say cheating. I think part of it could have been Houston cheating. I don't trust Houston for anything that they did in the playoffs.
Can't.
They got busted cheating and suffered no repercussions for it. Nothing.
Why do you suppose that is?
Because Major League Baseball didn't want to worry about having a problem like that. They stone cold busted the guy with his camera in the Indians' photographer's pit.
Right.
Videotaping. I guarantee you that had something to do with Kluber.
People say it's not a big deal. What can you learn from it? You can learn a lot of stuff, and I think the perfect example is Corey Kluber. The way he pitches, maybe that cheating let him know that he's pitching a little differently, or wait on this pitch and go for the next one.
There's nibbling. That's what it's all about. That's the difference between Corey Kluber being good and bad. That
he also could have gotten good calls, though. If he's nibbling, it could be called a strike also.
But these guys knew when to hold back on when to swing.
They knew when that pitch was coming.
And yeah, that's right. And so you're going to tell me that's fair? That's right? I understand stealing signs is one thing.
Right.
I get it.
No, that's been part of the game
understand
forever.
that. But when you're using electronic equipment to do it, that's not right. It's not.
Okay, the Indians of 1948 used Bob Feller's eyeglass from the USS Alabama and had the guy from the grounds crew behind the stadium scoreboard stealing signs also. So should we take away the 1948 pennant from the World Series from the Indians?
I need to go back and see the video. I need to go back and see the still frames
right.
on that. So do you want the Bauer story?
I just want to show you the lineup with Ramirez, because we've been talking how bad it was going to be without Ramirez. Now let's take a look and see what the Indians lineup. We're just making this up, Andy. This is for tomorrow. 4:10 start. Martin leading off, Bauer's in left field, followed by Ramirez. Santana batting fourth. Ramirez apparently is going to make the team under these circumstances, the DH. Tyler Naquin is my new whipping boy to replace Casey Blake and Lonnie Chisenhall, just going on the record with
Fair
that.
enough. I respect that.
Brad Miller, get used to him.
Although Tyler hustles, I can't get mad at him.
Yeah, he does. Roberto Perez, we moved him back from 7th to 8th. And Eric Stamets, who hit a Grand Slam home run, which will be in Texas, which will be the highlight of his Indians career, I would believe.
There's just too many. Martin, we're just happy that he's out there and he's alive.
Yes.
Let's be honest on that. Bauer just seemed disappointing during spring training. Maybe something happens on opening day. I know Brian Anderson liked him. We talked about him, former Indians pitcher who's now with Tampa Bay Television. So,
okay, before the break, you were talking about Trevor Bauer.
Right, and that he was
set it up from before, so we know it, so they know what you're talking about.
So, Hoynesy had a story about, and I understand why Hoynesy wrote the whole story. First of all, I don't know who wrote the headline. So, and I don't know who wrote Hoynes' headline.
Yeah, but people who don't know, the writer, in this case, Paul Hoynes, doesn't write the headline. Okay.
I don't know if that's true or not. Do you know? With the way we've had cutbacks in the industry,
well, that's true.
It wouldn't surprise me.
That's
so,
true.
What happens is that there's this whole story out that Bauer's not happy about the fact that he's not starting opening day.
Right.
And he didn't talk to the media, and Terry Francona said he was cranky. If we put all three of those together, I could totally understand why somebody would think.
So Hoynesy says he's upset about not starting.
In Hoynesy's piece, all he said was that Francona said he was cranky.
Okay.
If Hoynesy didn't write the headline, it's not Hoynesy's fault.
Right.
So over the weekend, Trevor Bauer gets mad at Hoynesy, saying you need to get to the truth of why this headline says he's not happy about not starting.
Why doesn't he just go to him and tell him the truth?
Well, Bauer didn't talk. So are you going to blame Hoynesy for that? I can't.
No.
Why? Because he was cranky, as we heard from Francona. So I was trying to get to the bottom of it and try to figure out exactly why is Bauer, and especially because those guys know, and I know this in the past, they pretty much know who's going to start opening day.
Sure.
Trevor knew who was starting opening day.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be Kluber?
And that's why it kind of didn't make sense that he was upset in a game where he had given up 4 home runs. So what I'm hearing is that Bauer got fined for, in that game when he gave up 4 home runs, he decided he was going to chuck the ball up in the stands. And I'm not
during the game.
During the game.
Yeah.
So the Indians didn't like that. Who would want that? I mean, that's stupid.
No, it's an Albert Bell thing.
Yeah, so he did that. Tito fined him.
And there were fans in the stands.
He was cranky. And so the next thing you know, he gets fined.
Yeah.
Then they go in and they go talk to him afterwards, and he left. They asked Tito. Tito says he's cranky. Was he cranky? And then, by the way, we're also going to tell you who the starting pitcher is that day to the media. So it was a matter of him getting fined. It wasn't a matter of him, the other stuff.
Well, when you have stuff on your permanent record, that leads people to believe something might be happening.
That's true. Like I say to my wife, if someone's a jerk yesterday, they were a jerk today, what do you think they're going to be tomorrow?
Let me think.
If they're an idiot yesterday, an idiot today, what are they going to be tomorrow?
216-575-0403. How can the Indians change come postseason? We're going to look at that.
Okay, good.
We're going to look how teams in recent years have what you see on opening day is not necessarily what you see on closing day. Also, as you know, I'm the voice of Truth and Reason. Well, we now have voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Oh.
Call anytime, 24 hours a day. You want to leave a message for us? 216-200-6650. Call anytime, leave a message, and we'll get it on the show if it's a good message. And if it's a bad one, we might do it also. You can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/More Sports and Les Levine, with new content posted each and every day. We'll come back in a moment. Andy Baskin with us. More Sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
It takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling to bring the heat when things get chilly. Find us at 440-449-HEAT.
Dennis Maniloff joins us tomorrow. This date in sports history, March 27th, 1939. Ohio State loses to Oregon by a score of 46-33. It was the first NCAA basketball tournament championship, and the Buckeyes lost that. Jimmy Hall had 12 points to lead the losing Buckeyes. Robert Lynch and William Sattler each had 7 in the loss. No shot clock, no three-point shot and all. The final went 46-33. Andy Baskin is with us.
Right.
What do you got?
No, I'm just saying, that score from the NCAA tournament, that's just it.
Right. All right, before we get to comparing opening day to playoff lineups, you had a poll today on your show, Baskin and Phelps.
All right, so going back to the Browns story today, and they were talking about the stadium and not moving from the stadium. Well, the poll we did was, do you enjoy sitting outside watching Browns home games in less than 30-degree weather?
All right, my guess would be, since they were losing almost every game, 70-30 against.
Okay, that's what we thought. And early on, it was heavy. But we are 5 hours in on this poll. It is a dead heat, 50-50, with almost 3,000 votes. 18 hours still to vote, Baskin and Phelps on Twitter.
That's a lot of votes in that period of time.
3,000 votes. Yeah, we had 1,000 votes in the first hour.
216-50. That's unbelievable. 216-575-0403. All right, we talked about the lineups and all. So let's take a look at 2016. Everybody remembers that as the team that lost to the Cubs in the World Series. Look at the bottom 3 guys in the opening day lineup, Andy. Marlon Byrd, Juan Uribe, and Colin Cowgill.
Well, we were waiting for Coco Crisp to come back. That's what that
Well,
was
he
all
did
about.
eventually, because the postseason had Carlos Santana leading off, Kipnis and Lindor and Matt Napoli, as well as Ramirez, and Lonnie Chisenhall, Coco Crisp, Tyler Naquin, and Roberto Perez. That's the opening game of the World Series. Then you come in 2017, Indians trying to defend the American League title. Santana, Lindor, Brantley, Encarnacion, Ramirez, Yan Gomes, Naquin, Yandy Diaz. Did you remember Yandy Diaz starting opening day? I didn't.
Didn't Almonte get in trouble too?
Yes.
Wasn't he suspended? He was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Or was that in 16?
I think it was in 16.
In 16, he was supposed to be the opening day center fielder.
Right.
And then he got suspended.
All right, so now look at this. Postseason, you've got top 3 is the same, but you had Jay Bruce as the 4th batter, followed by Santana, Brantley, Chisenhall, Perez, and how about this, Giovanni Urshela. This is just 2 seasons ago. Urshela. All right, now you go to 2018. You've got the usual guys, but Yonder Alonso is your 4th batter. Chisenhall is 6th. Naquin is 8th, and Bradley Zimmer is the center fielder on opening day. And,
Man, I hope he gets healthy.
No.
You don't? You don't care?
Oh, no. I
want him to get healthy for this year.
Absolutely. So the Melky Cabrera, of course, is the 7th batter in the postseason, and Kipnis has moved all the way down from 2nd to 9th. So things can change. I guess the point of this, Andy, is you look at the Indians lineup, and the odds are good that 3 or 4 of those guys won't even be on the team come postseason.
Makes sense. Long season. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
I'm still, like, today I spent a lot of time just talking about, I'm tired of ripping the team right now. Opening day here, home opener is Monday. They start the season tomorrow.
Best day of the year.
They've got enough starting pitching to last the season and through the playoffs. If you forget about everything else, that rotation can win the World Series. They can.
Here's what's happened on this show. Everybody who's been here has ripped the team for the same reasons they rip them on your show.
Right.
But then when I ask them at the end, how do you think they're going to do? And they all say, well, they'll win by 8 or 10 games. So what, you don't like the way they won it?
They're not going to win by enough runs?
Right.
I'm just tired. I'm tired of being negative about the Indians. That's where I am right now. And we've spent the whole offseason saying, look, are we going to lose our 2 starting pitchers, our mainline starters? It didn't happen. Who else were you going to go out there and get in free agency? That's the other question.
Who did they miss on?
And like you said at the beginning of the show, we're worried about a shortstop we're going to lose in 3 seasons.
Yeah. Well, because he's one of the best players we've seen. You know, you go back to the 90s, and you got Ramirez and Bell and Omar. These are historical great players.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can make a good argument that if Bell had a better relationship with the media and he played 2 more years, he probably is a Hall of Famer, right?
Yes.
Manny Ramirez is a Hall of Famer if he didn't do PEDs.
He did?
Well, if he did.
Okay. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. And Omar should be, and hopefully will be soon. So you're talking about historical players, but is Lindor even the greatest is he a better shortstop than Omar? Defensively, I'd say no.
No.
I mean, it's hard.
Offensively, yes.
Offensively, by a lot because of the home runs and RBIs.
Right.
But still, those guys are a pleasure to watch, and well worth to me. That's well worth being a baseball fan, even though a game in April shouldn't mean anything about October.
All right. So why are we so negative? Why do we kill these guys? Because we don't want the owner to tell us the truth. He told us the truth.
I said that last night. We're mad because he said what we want owners to do. Well, we want owners to just spend money and then step back. But what you really want them to do is be truthful to you and let you know what they're doing. And he said, enjoy them while you can. How do you argue that?
He also said, we'll worry about it when we get there.
Well, yeah. But,
sort of.
Yeah, but they're not going $400 million.
No, they're not.
Neither are the Yankees. Well, maybe the Yankees would.
So there's 6 teams maybe out there that would do it.
Maybe. That's it.
And, I mean, you never know.
Don't you think that most teams in Major League Baseball, 30 teams, take away the Indians, so it's 29 teams, don't you think 25 of them would like to have this front office that the Indians have had?
They do, because they get hired around the league.
Yeah, they keep getting calls all the time.
Here's the thing I don't understand, which seems odd to me. The national beat guys are starting to beat up on the Indians. Have you noticed that?
Yesterday, Sports Illustrated called for the Indians fans to boycott the team. They said if any team deserves to be boycotted, it's the Cleveland Indians.
Why? Because they're not spending as much as everybody else?
Well, because if
aren't they already boycotting by not going to the game?
Well, they don't go to the game because April and May is bad weather.
I agree with that.
Once you get to the end of May and June, you don't do too bad there.
Right.
There's no complaint about the attendance there.
Go look at the numbers historically of our baseball franchise.
It's not
great.
Go
look at them. You know, you've got the Feller era World Series teams.
Right.
They drew, okay? The 90s teams drew, but you didn't have the Browns. And everything we've seen since 2000 has been kind of hit or miss. You're always a 10-game winning streak away from a sellout at our place.
And also, walk-ups. If the weather's bad, you don't get a walk-up sale. And the whole problem is they don't have enough season ticket sales. They have probably now, well, with the All-Star game, they probably cook the books a little bit. But if the All-Star game is in here, you probably have 12 or 13,000 season ticket fans.
Let me ask you this, because I saw this. There's a new app out there. I don't know if the Indians are using it or not. But there's a new app that allows you to buy, like once a game starts, the tickets start to decrease. The Cavaliers have used this for a couple games this year.
What, you can buy tickets at different prices?
You can buy tickets as the game's going on now at a reduced price.
And the price goes down.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a great idea, too. Especially if you can't get there for the beginning of the game.
Can they get you into the park? Because with the Indians, if you have a walk-up of 5,000 or 6,000, you don't get until the third inning.
I don't know what it does for security reasons why, but I know that the price decreases as the game goes on,
It's a good idea. Do you think season ticket holders who paid full price would be upset with that? I don't.
No, because you can be there at the beginning of the game and you're good to go. If you, I think it's kind of a millennial thing where it's like, hey, we're at the bar, it's a 6th inning, and man, it's a really, really good game.
The Dodgers invented that without knowing it.
Truth.
Yeah,
you're right.
How about if you're getting beat 11-1, can you go out and get money back?
No, that doesn't work that way.
All right, 216-575-0403, Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. You can have post time at 6 p.m. Live racing Sunday through Wednesday, along with Saturday, and that's at Northfield Park, where it's free admission, free parking every day. Andy and I come back in a moment, exclusively on cleveland.com.
The concrete in your garage is uneven, cracked, pitted, and just plain ugly. Transform your garage into a welcoming entryway with Nature Stone flooring. Reduce tracked-in dirt, eliminate puddling and salt damage. Plus, Nature Stone corrects uneven concrete so you don't have to worry about tripping or slipping.
Get Nature Stone installed in your home by the end of March and get up to 50% off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today.
It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Let's take a look at this date in Les Levine history, Andy, back in 1964. Yes. When baseball practice began for the Brush Arcs, Les's coach told him his defense had to improve. Les said, why don't you use me as a DH? The coach said, that won't be invented for another 10 years.
You were so far ahead of the game. People need
I
to
had
respect
trouble. Help
you.
me out as we crafted the writing of this.
Yes.
I thought the end line should be, after it says use me as a DH, the end line should have been, what's that? What's a better ending on that?
No,
one?
I like the one. Who
you
wrote
like this
that?
one here?
Who wrote that?
Well, the chief of writing on the staff.
Okay. You?
Yeah.
Oh, you were debating yourself?
Yeah.
Did you use two different voices when you were arguing with each other?
Yeah.
No, Les.
No,
yes,
that wasn't invented for 15 years.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I give you these 10 commandments.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Ron Bauer availed himself of the voicemail of Truth and Reason. Let's hear what Ron had to say as he called the number.
Hi, Les. Hey, this is Ron Bauer. Hey, since the Indians have not signed a big-name hitter so far, I've got an idea for the ticket department for the Indians. I know they're going to be worried about attendance at games this year. Why not have a special? Buy a 6-game plan, and they would include a Browns away preseason ticket. Better get on the Browns bandwagon. All right, Les. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks, Ron. I don't think the Indians want to help out the ticket sales of the other team in town.
I don't think they talk to each other. Going to go out on a limb?
You don't
say
think
they probably don't talk to each other?
You mean they don't share ideas?
No. Do you?
No.
No, not at all.
When Art Modell owned the team, they probably did because Art was also the landlord for the stadium, so they probably did that.
They didn't need grandstand managers night for the Browns.
No, they didn't. All right, so I had this idea.
Okay.
The Indians are going to play opening day at home Monday, and then Tuesday they're off, I think, right? And then Wednesday they play again.
Okay, I know your idea, and I love it.
The idea, you sell out, you say opening day tickets on sale right now, and in 4 minutes, 35,000 seats are sold.
Right.
But what will the attendance be for game 2? And my answer would probably be 11 or 12,000.
Okay.
So why don't you forget promoting opening day? That's going to sell out no matter what. And go all out selling opening day 2 or something like that, and try to get 25,000 people in game 2.
So what do? Make it a discounted ticket for game 2?
You tell me.
You could package it together like you are the All-Star game.
Well, they probably
you have to
did.
buy
Might be
opening
different this
series.
year.
But what happens if you have bad weather?
Well, yeah. But remember when the old stadium closed, you had to buy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You couldn't just buy Sunday games. So they were smart back then. Why wouldn't you promote Game 2? Which goes with how I solve baseball's problem.
Okay.
Ready for this?
Yes.
It's called the Ruby Wolf solution.
Of course.
Remember Ruby?
Yes, ran JCC softball.
Yes, he did. And you had split seasons. Mm-hmm. So why don't you have split seasons now?
Well, they do it in the minors.
Have them in the majors so that at the end of June, middle of June, if your team is out of it, you're out of it for the whole season. But if you have a split season where you can qualify for the playoffs, you start the whole scoreboard watching, you have the standings, 0-0 on July 1st. You have opening day 2. It'll put in people in ballparks all over the country. You're thinking about it, meaning you don't have an immediate answer.
I think what they could do, if you wanted to expand the playoffs, is for the last month of the season, you could play for a one-game wild card spot.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Okay. Let's
do something. It's another
something.
idea.
Yeah.
I mean.
All right. Ben is hanging on from Hermitage, Pennsylvania. We'll get to him when we get back. 216-575-0403 if you want to get in on that. Sokolowski's, I'm going to be there tomorrow, Andy. They've been with me 27 years. I think I've been there every Thursday at 1:15, all 27 years of that.
Is your picture up there? That's the only. They have so many great. That should be the Cleveland Sports Hall of Fame, too.
My picture is there. My bobblehead is there. And lunch 11 to 3, Monday through Friday, and Saturday nights for dinner. The winner of the James Beard Foundation Award, they can't get better than that. That's the Hall of Fame of restaurants. Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn. We'll come back in a moment. We'll get to Ben. Hang on there, Ben. Andy Baskin from 92.3 The Fan. We are exclusively right here on cleveland.com.
When my dad started Nature Stone right here in Northeast Ohio, he created a solution for age-old concrete problems: unevenness, cracking, pitting, and more. Nature Stone solves all of these problems in garages, basements, and outdoor spaces. Nature Stone is beautiful, environmentally friendly, and always affordable. Nature Stone is backed by Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty.
Get Nature Stone installed in your home by the end of March and get up to 50% off. Schedule your free in-home estimate easily online today.
It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program has been recognizing role model students and teachers since 2007. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to OhioLottery.com. In the About section, find Supporting Education. There, you can nominate students in kindergarten through 12th grade as academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as the Teacher of the Month. Every school that participates is eligible for the School of the Year. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Tomorrow night, the D-Man, Dennis Maniloff, joins us. You see us live 6 to 7 Eastern Time, and you can find us all day long. You can go back, archive any old show on cleveland.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/More Sports and Less Levine. New content posted each and every day. Send us your comments. Your picture will be on the air, along with your name and whatever you have to write about, right here on cleveland.com. 216-575-0403. is the number to call. Let's go to Ben. Ben is in Hermitage, PA. Hello, Ben.
Hey, Les. How you doing today?
Good. Andy Baskin with us.
Hey, Ben. How are you?
Oh, hey, Andy. I just wanted to call and talk to you guys. I live, like I said last week, right on the Ohio-PA border, and living where I do, I'm just going to be really interested to see all of the Browns fans come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, they've been in hiding all these years.
Yeah, I actually went to a Buffalo Wild Wings last season, and it was pretty crazy to see all the Browns fans that came out of nowhere.
Should we let them on the Ben, should we let them in the on the bandwagon or not?
I don't know. I mean, on the one side of me, I'm 30 years old, and this is the first good Browns team I've seen that I remember.
Right.
I don't know. So it's hard for me to let them on. But
Andy, you make the call. Do we let them back?
As long as they weren't Steeler fans in between that, they're welcome back.
They didn't go to the dark
They've
side?
been watching. You know, the ratings are still huge. They've been watching from home. They just haven't been going out and wearing their gear.
Well, one thing that I don't appreciate, though, is I get the Pittsburgh CBS feed and I get the Youngstown, Ohio CBS feed.
Right.
And for the past, 3 or 4 years, that Youngstown feed shows the Steeler game when the Browns and the Steelers play at the same time.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, thanks for calling. Thanks for participating in the show. We appreciate it very much.
It's a tough decision when you're at one of those stations.
It is called. Yeah,
we had it in Columbus. It was really hard to, it was either the Bengals or the Browns.
Right. Cleveland Bill says, Andy wants to open against New England. Be careful what you wish for. We wanted the Steelers for our opener in 1999.
Yeah, we're
not
joking.
What was the final on that?
56-0? Is that what it? 54, 52, 52-0?
It was up there. It was up there. Cleveland Bill also says, all right, bagels in Cleveland and St. Louis were analyzed. What about the Cincinnati bagels? I don't write them. I'm the middleman.
You need to have your own symbol behind you.
All right, so the Indians open up tomorrow. Where do you think they finish? Or how many wins?
92.
92. Good enough to win the division?
Yes, absolutely.
Good enough to maybe get a home field advantage against either the East or the West?
It's right on the border.
No, Hermitage, PA is right on the border.
I know, it's close. It depends on if the outfielders overachieve. How's that sound? I'll give you that. I'll throw some
They'd almost have to.
Here's the other fear. I don't know what the bullpen's going to look like. You don't either.
No, I don't. And what concerns me is they were worried about it, and you look at them, all of them in the bullpen have pitched for the Indians last year. It's not like they brought in some new blood.
That's the good thing about the outfield, about not knowing who's in the outfield. Yeah. No one's questioned the bullpen. They're just kind of going, wait. Just wait till someone calls tomorrow and says, where's Andrew Miller?
How about
who's done, by the way?
How about one of those guys, one of the 3 or 4 guys that are new and we don't know who they are, one of them, is it fair to say one will probably turn out okay?
Sure.
And probably 3 will not?
Martine, let's hope Zimmer comes back, and then the cream will rise to the top.
Okay. This surprise to me is this Luplow. And I remember watching his great-uncle, Al Luplow, played for the Indians in the 60s. But he was having a terrible spring, and the next thing you know, he's made the team. When did that happen? When did he make the team?
When they put him on the 40-man roster. And knowing that going into camp, too, right?
Yeah, but he was not good.
You got to get through these first couple weeks of the season until these guys get healthy.
Which guy that we don't have anymore, that we had last year, we knew Napoli 2 years ago was the guy that would hurt them by not being here. Who's going to hurt us the most? Which player who played here last year is going to hurt us the most? My answer is Michael Brantley.
I think he's done.
You think Brantley's done?
I think that the guy that's going to turn around that might be a difference is Mejia, that we never saw, that you ended up trading for Brad Hand.
Right.
Mejia is the guy I'll keep my eye on.
Yeah, but if Hand does well, it's a wash,
okay.
And you got a position you needed.
I'm done with Brantley. I've been done for a while.
Really?
I was done last year.
Something personal?
No, it just never. Yeah, he had decent numbers. Yes, he was an all-star. Yes, he was the best thing to come out of the CC deal, but I turned the page.
The alternative was Colin Cowgill.
I understand that.
Or Cowherd.
Or somebody else they could have brought in. Turn the page on Brantley.
All right, we are done. You got 15 seconds. You got anything?
You want me to cough some more for you?
No, I want you to stop coughing.
No, congratulations to you. You got a big event coming up. That's what I say. Yes.
Well, you'll be here
We'll come back. We'll talk more about it.
Okay.
Mr. Hall of Famer.
Next.
Mr. Hall of Famer, right here.
It's not exactly the Hall of Fame.
What do you want to call it then?
It's something else. It's the CAB, Cleveland Association of Broadcasters. I hate to even say this.
Say it.
Excellence in radio.
Excellence in radio. Excellence in broadcasting. Whatever you want to call it. It is an honor and pleasure to be out here with you.
Well, that as well as this show, of all the awards I've ever met or gotten, this is the most recent.
As of today.
That means we're done.
I know.